Well, howdy folks, thanks for joining the Eagle's Nest. Now I got a very interesting video, something I think you guys will actually really enjoy. And we are basically going to be taking out a brand new out of the box CZ457. This is the synthetic stock model, the very base model. About 500 bucks is what I paid for. Now this CZ457, like I said, is bone stock. The only thing that I did on this is put a Area 419 40 MOA rail as well as a bolt knob. But the question I've always asked is, what upgrades actually make a difference for your precision rimfire rifle? So we're going to take the bone stock CZ457 out of the box at 50 yards, shooting SK rifle match as well as Ely 10X, and then we're going to go ahead and drop it into an ACC chassis. Now this is pretty much a pretty expensive upgrade, looking at a chassis cost around 1,100 bucks. And we'll see what that does as far as accuracy. We're then also going to test, maybe the simple solution will be a tuner. Now this is a EC tuner version 1. We'll go ahead and install it on the factory barrel and see if we can get that thing tuned in and what kind of performance we could get. We're also going to go ahead and try out a suppressor. So I get a lot of comments and a lot of emails for requesting suppressor use on a precision rimfire rifle. It's been my experience that a suppressor actually will hurt accuracy in the long run, but we'll give it a test today. So I have a Thunder Beast Arms Takedown 22 that we'll go ahead and install on the factory barrel as well. And then the last thing we're going to install is going to be a brand new barrel. This barrel is a heavy contour. It is a Douglas 1 in 14 twist. This is my notchless barrel, so you guys can see there's no grub screw relief cuts. Chambered with a JGS match chamber, 24-inch length, double recessed crown, so it is not threaded. So like I said, fresh off the lathe. We'll see what kind of performance we get with just swapping a barrel into the chassis, into the CZ457, and see if that upgrades the performance downrange as well. So you guys will like this one. Stick around, we'll get to it. All right, so before we do anything, we're going to make sure the grub screws are actually torqued down 35 inch-pounds. So we'll make this a fair test. So I took the barreled action off out of the synthetic factory stock, and we are going to go ahead and torque these things down exactly 35 inch-pounds using the Borka toolkit that I have here. So I believe this is a factory 20-inch barrel, very skinny contour, super thin. But they still have it threaded 1/2 by 28, so good job CZ on that one. So let's go ahead and get this thing torqued down, and we'll get it back into the stock. All right, so I just finished up actually zeroing out the scope. The scope that I am using is a Valdata G2 Mini. Now this is a new offering, very awesome little scope that I'm finding out to be 34mm tube, Valdata rings, and it sits on top of a Area 419 30 MOA base with the Area 419 bolt knob. Factory configuration, shooting SK rifle match 50 yards. Let's see what she does. Oh, one other thing, we're shooting off a bag. So my dumbass forgot to bring a bipod today. So we are going to go old school and shoot off a bag. Hopefully I can hold a group. Let's start off with the center here. I'll point it out on the video. 5-round mag is all I got. So let's see if I can hold the group here. We got a cold bore shift for sure. Now these aren't the best range conditions, but we are going to do what we can do. All right, let's load up another 5 more and let's see if that improves. All right, let's go over to the line on the right there and shoot another 5 shots here at the SK rifle. These are, I feel pretty solid. I think just not liking this ammo. Oh, it just stacked 3 in the same hole. And we're having a cold bore shift for sure. All right, it's coming together. We'll go ahead and shoot another 5 more. It seems like this barrel is showing to be pretty damn accurate with the SK rifle. High. Let's see if the other 2 follow. Yeah, there's definitely a cold bore shift. You could definitely see it, the pattern. It's about the same. Yep. Ooh, that was not me. Felt pretty solid on that one. One more. All right, so looks like it's definitely over MOA. That was 3 5-shot groups, factory configuration. Let's go ahead and throw the suppressor on and see what that does. So one thing about Thunder Beast Arms, they recommend a .430, 10 in length for the thread. I can definitely tell that is a lot larger than .430. But let's go ahead and load up 5 more. See what kind of point of impact shift we have, and if the groups do improve. That's one of the things I've always wondered. You know, I heard a lot of folks talk about suppressors improving groups. One thing about a suppressor, like I mentioned on my 22 long rifle accuracy series, is that it actually starts collecting the lead debris, carbon debris, and all that, which entails more weight. So it starts collecting more weight and essentially becomes a detuner, so to say. But we'll go ahead, we'll aim just right at that last 5-shot group and see if it shoots lower, higher, or whatnot. All right, top left there. Okay. Looks like the cold bore shift is minimized a little bit. Groups are definitely improved so far. Interesting. Everything's quiet, huh? All right, so I'd let the barrel cool down at least 15 minutes, and we'll go ahead and see if there is a cold bore shift now. So we'll aim just right of our last target here. This target cam is a huge help. Finally was able to get one for myself. All right, so no cold bore shift. How interesting. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. All right, so it's obvious that the suppressor significantly improved the group size. I'd say with that one outlier on the right, we'll go ahead and shoot another 5 shots just to confirm that wasn't just the ammo or me. almost zeroed out. Yep. That's crazy how much this suppressor made a big difference. One more here. Yeah. So even with the weather we have going on, this thing's a shooter with the suppressor. Now, one thing, like I said, even though this is shooting very well, this suppressor is clean. There's nothing in it so far besides they last, what, 25, 30 rounds. So if we don't monitor the weight of this thing could possibly start collecting a lot of debris and whatnot. Another thing that folks are not really aware of or are just learning, a suppressor with collecting all that debris on a competition setting, we typically start with a rifle pointed up. So when you do that, all of that carbon and debris starts flowing down the bore, and that could cause your first round shot to be off. So let me simulate that, see if maybe we'll have a flyer. We'll shoot at the same group there. So let's see what that does. I definitely feel, yeah, the bolt itself felt gritty as hell, so it definitely threw a bunch of debris down the bore. Let's let's see what this thing does. Yep. So yeah, you can see right there, that's a disadvantage of a suppressor, and that legitly threw a flyer, just having that debris down the bore. And you could definitely feel it all up in the bolt. So actually, let me show you guys real quick. Yep, you can see it all around the bolt head here. So one of the disadvantages of shooting suppressed on the 22 for sure. All right, so I went ahead and installed the EC Tuner version 1 on the CZ, and instead of boring you guys with all the tuning and showing all the shots downrange, what I'm going to do is just fast forward the clip on this video, shooting 2 to 3 shot groups and getting this thing tuned in, and I'll tell you exactly where this thing landed. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing tuned in. We're going to start with 0 and pretty much work out 2 to 3 shot groups. We'll see if I get this thing as accurate as I possibly can with the EC Tuner. All right, I think that's the setting right there. All right, so that didn't take me long at all. It actually took me about 10 shots. So the EC Tuner definitely helped. I definitely, all I did was basically shoot 5 shots at 0 on the setting, went up to 5 and shot another 5-shot group, and that thing just started tack driving. So the factory barrel with the EC Tuner, it works very well, and tuners could definitely help out. But that doesn't show you the accuracy potential of a rifle. We're only at 50 yards. So I'm kind of a little curious. I've been recommended SK Pistol Match. This one is the Pistol Match Special, so it should be the same lubricant. Shouldn't have to foul the barrel. With the barrel tuned as it is, I didn't touch anything at all with the EC Tuner. Let's go ahead and throw 5 shots just right of the last group and see if we can get this thing to shoot good as well. with the SK pistol match special. I got no clue where that thing went. Okay, way the hell up there. All right, good thing for the target cam. Yep, it is basically kind of all over the place with SK pistol match. Okay, last shot here. So the question now is, does a tuner help this situation out? And the answer is actually no. Like I've seen a lot of YouTube channels, recently playing around with the EC version 2 tuner that just doesn't seem to grasp the concept that you actually need to find the ammo that shoots well out of the rifle first, or at least do some lot testing from a different rifle. This SK rifle match that I have here has been lot tested from my own experiment basically, and this thing has absolutely shot lights out with pretty much all of my rifle builds. So I know that this ammo is at least consistent enough to produce the groups that you're seeing today. So again, if you're going to play around with a tuner, the concept is finding the ammo that is consistent enough to produce match grade accuracy, and then the tuner will help fine tune that. As you can see, you can't go out there throwing whatever ammunition you find off the shelf and expect a tuner to do miracles. That's absolutely the wrong way of doing things, and you're just wasting your freaking time along with doing videos on doing what you're doing. You're not doing it right. Just going to be straight up on that. So with that said, we'll go ahead and remove this barreled action off the factory stock, throw into the ACC stock chassis, and let's see if the groups get any better than what it is. I mean, honestly, the way it's performing with the EC tuner, with the factory barrel, it'd be kind of hard to justify this thing needing any kind of upgrades, to be honest, but that's just my experience so far. All right, let's get to it. All right, folks, so I have the MDT ACC chassis. This is actually from a good friend of mine that I'm actually rebarreling his CZ at the moment. To borrow this for the video. With that said, we went ahead and loaded up SK rifle match, the same ammunition. The tuner is set exactly what it was. I didn't do anything to the tuner at all. So we're going to keep it as is. We'll shoot a 5-shot group. May need to refile the barrel, but we'll see. Woo, that is close to that target cam. Let's I'll risk it for the biscuit here. So no cold bore shift. Best benefit I could tell you right now with this ACC chassis is ergonomics is a huge upgrade. Got my cheek weld planted very tight. I feel solid. Thumb rest where I want it. Right hand shooter. This is one of the best upgrades for a chassis for this system here, or this type of rifle. You can see there, that's shooting lights out already. That's even with the wind conditions we have here, they're all touching. All right, so that's bug holing, factory barrel basically. Nothing but the EC tuner, ACC chassis. Did the groups improve? Looks like it did, very slightly. It could be just the fact that I'm not, floating my cheek weld. I got a more solid system here. The ACC chassis is obviously doing its job, and it is shooting lights out. No joke. This CZ is factory shooting lights out as it is. Now the downside to this whole system with that skinny ass barrel is the balance of the rifle. It is definitely ass heavy. It's gonna need a lot of weight in order to get this thing balanced out, if you're going to consider this setup for a PRS or NRL 22 setup. So that will be the downside to having a barrel like that. But we'll go ahead and load up 5 more, and let's go ahead and get this scope adjusted. And let's see if it will hold another group. One thing, like I said, is 0 cold bore shift. So this is one of the better barrels, perhaps, that I've seen out of a CZ that are shooting very well right out of the gate. I hit low. Weird. Getting a little bit of horizontal stringing. That's odd. Let's go ahead and let's try 5 more. Don't think that was me, but you never know. Slight scope adjustment. Let's go get another box here. Kind of walking up on you, but still a pretty good group. So yeah, you could barely see that last shot was almost the same hole, or pretty much the same hole. Well, but I could say that that could contribute to me shooting SK pistol match. It's definitely coming together, and this thing is loving the EC tuner and the setup. So the question is, what does a custom barrel do for you? Let's get that installed. All right, so got the new barrel installed into the CZ Action. The cool factor is definitely there. This thing does feel a hell of a lot more balanced. It still is ass heavy. Give you guys a close up here. This barreled action definitely does feel the chassis very nice. Could have been a little bit bigger on the barrel, but that's just the Douglas barrel profile that I got spun up. I did ask for a 1.1, but got a 1 inch, which is all right. I think it's still should shoot pretty good, hopefully, but we'll see. So this is a 24-inch barrel. This will be 4 inches longer than the factory barrel. As perspective here. Here's the factory barrel with the tuner, obviously. So it's roughly about, I'd say 2 to 3 inches longer. And we'll see what SK Rifle does. First rounds out of this barrel. It's got a pretty high bar set. So I think my custom barrel is going to be sweating some bricks right now. Target cam died on me. Yeah, it's all right. We'll go ahead and shoot a group. We'll just shoot next to the last one, and I'll walk you guys up there. So, chamber's definitely tighter. You feel it when you chamber around here. I'm hoping that didn't hit my damn tripod.
We're knocked over.
All right, let's let me aim on the right here, see where the thing's going. You see it, Noni?
Huh? Yeah, I'm just seeing where. Yeah, I can see it. Oh.
Okay, I see it. Let me just do a group on this one. I see exactly where it's at. Bazinga. Point of aim, point of impact. So that was 15 shots, fresh off the lathe, brand new barrel. Let's go ahead and walk you guys down there. So those groups were the first 5 right here, fresh off the lathe. I was aiming like right here and I saw it hit way over here, so I got the scope adjusted just correctly. Next 5 shots, I had 1 drop low for some reason. This was the flyer that I was noticing, but all 4 of them stacked right here in this same hole. Next 5 shots right here, and that's just from the barrel. Comparing this to some of the other groups here, you can see that there is a slight improvement in the group with that barrel. It seems to be a little bit more consistent as far as the group size. We'll go ahead and try some Elite 10X now. Alright, so this barrel is acting like it absolutely hates Elite. That was the first 5 shots on the Elite 10X here, and it just was not doing good. It absolutely was like, nope, don't like that. Another 5 shots, doesn't like that. Then another 5 shots here, and it started to come together. So I was like, you know what, let me give this thing a chance. Did another 5 shots, and there was 3 stacking, and then we had 2 outliers for some reason. And the last 5, definitely still competitive, but I'd say not in my standard. I'd say that's needs a little bit of improvement. But overall, if you take a look at the groups of the new barrel, the custom barrel did for the CZ, it does seem to be a lot more consistent versus, you know, the shooting suppressed or shooting with a tuner. I mean, that barrel didn't need anything other than just throwing a barrel on there. That's done correctly. Correct headspace, good chamber, good barrel. You can see that it's pretty much favoring SK ammo. Every barrel kind of has its own little niche, but it does shoot SK very consistent. We're pretty much saying that that's pretty consistent. Loves SK pistol match special. That's basically, I think, a sub 2-inch group. Go ahead and measure that. But overall, that barrel, that CZ457, is definitely competitive worthy now. I'd say that this does keep up with a lot of my custom rifle builds. So we'll go ahead and shoot the RimX, and we are losing a little bit of daylight, so let me get this done real quick. I'll show you the groups off the RimX, and we'll compare the complete done up CZ457, fully upgraded, outfitted with a new barrel, ACC chassis, whatnot, compared to a custom rifle, complete build RimX. All right, so I am losing daylight. Let me show you guys the groups on the RimX. So the RimX is definitely not picky, and let me explain what's going on here. So the first 5 shots was SK rifle right here. Did another 5 shots right here. You can see that thing is tack driving. Switched over to SK pistol special match. 5 shots here. Didn't really like it as much, and then another 5 shots here. And then went ahead and shot Elite 10X, and there's actually 5 shots right there. Next 5 right there, and then the last 5 right there. Well, folks, it's safe to say that the RimX rifle does offer a little bit of advantage, and what I mean by a little bit of advantage, that's my opinion, obviously, is that the ergonomics are very awesome. Smooth action, the benefit with having a nice bull barrel like that, a 120 straight contour, and a huge rigid action the way it is. It offers basically the rifle to be less picky downrange. That's been my experience so far. Now the CZ, fully outfitted, is obviously going to be cheaper. Not much cheaper, to be honest, but still cheaper. And it definitely will keep up with the RimX rifle, but it is a little bit more picky. So the moral of this whole story, and the moral of this video, basically the purpose of it, is basically to showcase that the rifle is only half the battle. I've said this a lot of times in my videos. The ammo makes a huge difference. And some rifles are pickier than others. Some rifles will outshoot other rifles, obviously. But what I consider an accurate rifle is something that you could take out to the range and just throw whatever you want at it. Throw Elite 10X, SK rifle match, perhaps Elite Team, you know, anything of the cheaper stuff, even the SK pistol, and go out there and compete competitively. Well, that's the results for today's testing, guys. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Weather conditions weren't the best, but you know what? Did shoot pretty well, even off the bag, in my opinion. Comment below, guys. Let me know what you guys think. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video.